Hold on.
Oh, it's live. So Ian Riley just jumped out of the thing, but we're going to talk about how he talked about this thing on the air that if you leave the toilet seat open and then you flush it, it gets a bunch of germs all over the place. And then I said there was a man on social media the other day that said, I'm sorry to all the women for leaving the toilet seat open. I just fell in the toilet and then realized it was you.
That was my bad.
Ian Riley fell in the toilet.
So, for context, I always shared the bathroom with the boys. When I was married, and my ex had the master bath, and now that I have my own bathroom, I'm a creature of habit, and so I just wasn't used to using it, and so I think I left the toilet seat up because it just wasn't a normal spot for me, and if I break anything out of my normal routine, I get all messed up. And so I went back later and I fell in. I thought, well, that's not how that's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that sucks when that happens. That sucks when that happens.
Good morning. It's the worst. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So,
super uncomfortable.
And this is just one of those things where it's like, it's so awesome to be a dude. Because most times you just have to stand up.
Yeah, that's why when I got that portable pee-pee, it's like the greatest thing.
And
you guys get mad. Like my friend, I'll pee off of his balcony with it, and he gets hella mad. And he's like, "No, that's like the only thing we have." He's the same as you.
Yeah, it's like the one thing we got, right? It's the one thing out in the woods, wherever we are. It's super convenient for us.
Oh, I've learned. There have been times that all I've had to do is just open the Jeep door and I don't even have to get out.
Right?
Yeah.
Like truckers don't even do that. Truckers have to use a water bottle. And you're like, nah, open the door.
so does Amazon drivers, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we talked about on the air how I tried to get rid of some sunglasses yesterday. And yes, Desiree, get it. It's awesome. I wish I would have had one sooner. Because I used to make fun of it. And I'm like, I grew up in Manteca. I know how to squat on a tree. And then I got one. Jamie and I were like, why didn't we have these sooner?
I've had one for 43 years. I didn't have to wait for 2 days shipping. I just came with it.
And you know what I'm not going to do? Send somebody a pic of it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I also have never done that. So,
okay. I got a pic this morning. So I get a Snapchat. If you guys are new here, besides like intimate details, because Ian Riley is not that level of debaggery, we share a lot, okay? So when I get this Snapchat, and as soon as it's red, I look at Ian and I go, I guarantee this is going to be a pic of this guy's thing. And Ian goes, I've never, ever done that. Has a woman ever asked you for one? Because we don't want them.
And honestly, in every relationship I've ever been in, past, present, I've never once looked at a point and click or my phone or anything and thought to myself, man, I'll bet she's waiting for me to take a picture of this right now and send it to her. That's appropriate. Never once.
Never have I asked for one either.
No.
And I know this guy, and I don't dislike, I've known this guy for years and years and years. We've had fun together. I know what it looks like, bro. Like, you don't need to keep sending. And he sent me, and as soon as I got it this morning, I was like, I already know what this is. So can I write him and be like, I don't need these pictures. Like, I don't want to hurt his feelings because we still, we're funsies. But like, I didn't ask for these photos and I don't want these photos. But if this is part of his kink or whatever, how do I put that down,
I mean, I think that just comes right down to, I don't want to see that. Stop sending it to me. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
peeps are gross. Peepees are gross.
It's awfully presumptuous of him to think that you want to wake up to something like that in your Snapchat.
Right?
Right.
Hey. Hi, Z.
But you were going off earlier about the crazy and how you were going to kind of lean in. Did you want to talk about that now or later?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to lean in. So I've been called crazy a lot, which is fine. I kind of own it. It's fine. I do crazy things. The difference between me and other women, I feel, is that I am not quiet about it. I have no problems, okay? And then you became single. And then, like I said before, besides intimate details, because Ian Riley isn't that level of debaggery, he
I'm a
shared,
legit no kiss and teller.
no. And we're friends. Like we just don't discuss that part, you know? But you've told me about some of these women and they're bananas. Like they are level and you were nice about it. I've been a stage 5 clinger. I've been kookaboo. I've done all of the things. And I have never been as bad as some of these chicks that you're dealing with. Like never, ever. And I want to give details, but they seem to be okay, nice girls, and maybe they're just not doing things right. So I don't want to give the details because I don't want them to know which ones I'm talking about. But I'm done. You all want to call me crazy. You men want to call me crazy. Go right ahead because I've seen the other side and I'm not even the level that is out there.
There's been some interesting ones.
Facts.
There's been, let's see, what have been my interesting ones?
I'll let you do that part because I don't want to give too many details to hurt any feelings.
Oh, okay.
So
well, now that I'm dating somebody, now that I'm dating somebody, and this doesn't call anybody out specifically, but now that I'm dating somebody, I've had more than one message from multiple people who I've talked with, but never actually really like met up with or anything. That have been like, I know you're seeing somebody, just say it, just tell me. It's like, yeah, I am, and also, we haven't said anything to each other in like 6 or 7 months, so like, are your feelings hurt? You know?
Yes, but at
Um,
least you're like nice about it because I've said stuff to guys where they've written me back and they're like, no, we were not a thing. Like, quit being nutso. And like some of these girls that are women that are hitting you up, like some of them have approached me and I'm like, you are barking up the wrong. Never, ever have I had a guy dump me and I reached out to his best girlfriend and was like, what's up with your boy?
apparently I was going through a phase where I wasn't being awesome, like around February or March, because all the people I was hooking up with reached out to one of my friends to tell him, to ask him what was wrong with me. And I was like, who are these people? I don't know. Because here's my approach. The way that I have approached this now is I'm not a ghoster. If we have a connection and we've talked, but also like afterwards, um, Warren Beatty did this, and Annette Bedding in an interview. I know these are old names, but she said when Warren Beatty and her dated, she was really mad when they broke up because he was like a really cool guy. She thought they had a thing, right? And so she would reach out and say hi to him every once in a while. And she said she was waiting for it to be tough or waiting for him to be dismissive or standoffish. And instead, every time she reached out, he'd be like, "Oh my God, beautiful. So good to hear from you. How you been? I hope you're doing well. I hope things are awesome." And I've been trying to kind of take that approach of like, anytime I get hit up, like it can go one of two ways. It can go the sentimental, go down that road. Maybe there was something there. Do we have that conversation and sort of toe the line? Or are we just like, we're cool friends now? Hey man, how you doing? So good to hear from you. You look great. I hope things are well.
Well, good for you for writing back because most men wouldn't. Or they would write something like mean back.
I feel like men don't have that same leeway as women though, do. Like I know that you're talking about like, because I think we're talking about two different things. Like you're talking about the crazy before, right? Or the crazy when it's happening. And I guess I'm talking about the crazy when you're ending it. I don't think that men can end relationships in the same way that women can in a screenshot internet kind of world. I don't think that they have that sort of leash.
I would agree with you.
I
I
think
think
that
we can be way meaner than you guys can be.
I
You
think women can be
absolutely.
meaner and say more things about physical attributes to men than men can to women. And I think that it's one of those things where we just got to kind of nod our head. And if we feel like we do have to take a shot, which is petty and immature, so we shouldn't. But if we do, we have to find other ways to do it that don't set you up to being what's the word? Canceled, I guess. Like
Canceled.
I don't know.
Yeah, canceled is the right word. Yeah,
So
I can see that. I can see how, and I am allowed to be way meaner too. Like I've quoted what some men have said to me, and you're like, whoa. And then I've listened to like some of the stuff I've said, and I'm meaner.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Well,
no,
and I mean,
that's right.
it's just
He's the minority. You're the minority.
it's a trait. It's a trait. I think that that women have over men, because I think that in general, even without the screenshot world, I think in general women have the ability to cut deeper and be far more mean to men than men do to women verbally like that.
Yes, but the
Not verbally, but
reason,
like on text, like back and forth in the dating world.
okay, the reason I feel that it is fair is because I am the minority when I am mean. My girlfriends don't speak up like I do.
Okay.
Like if we are out and there is somebody bothering us, I will literally ask them, "Can I step in now? This guy has made you uncomfortable enough." And they'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, he's fine. He's just flirty." No, let's be a jerk now. It's time to be a jerk. And it'll take them a minute, but then they'll go, "Yeah, you can step in now." And then that's when I have to step in and be like, "Back it up, bro. Like, we're not interested."
Right.
I'm the meanest one. So I feel like you're the minority being the nicest. I'm the minority in the female world being the meanest. Like when I post these things, 100% of the time people are like, "Take the high road. Silence is golden. Forgive and forget." No, no.
Okay. If I'm being completely honest here, right? All cards on the table. I don't necessarily want to be this nice all the time. But when I'm dating, and this happens, like, okay, it's like in the first initial parts of dating, like 2-3 weeks in, right? And there's that honeymoon flirty phase, and there's the picture exchanging phase. And I give women a lot of credit because they are far more brave and bold than I am when it comes to taking a picture and sending it, right? But whenever the pictures get sent, or whenever the talk starts to get a little more on the erotic side, I always pump the brakes and say, hey, this isn't a prude thing. This isn't and I can't match or keep up thing. This is a screenshot thing. And I can't set myself up for that. So, like, maybe we can get coffee, or like if you want to, but like, this is
See,
not
and
the
that's
arena
the
where I can do these
difference
things.
with the men and the women. Like if my screenshots get out, it's advertisement.
Right. Right.
I get a million dudes in my DMs if my screenshots get out.
And if I towed that line and my screenshots got out, it would be like, whoa, dude, hey, this guy's not appropriate. So I just don't do it.
Yeah. Jennifer, it is terrible.
It really is.
Eating is terrible.
It
I
is
know you
the
want to
worst.
hear some words of affirmation and some positivity when it comes to this. It's awful.
It's awful when it's not working
You
right.
know the guy who sent me the pic. I'm just not going to tell you who it is. He's going to be like, "Girl, you're killing me."
Dating is awful when it's not working right. Dating is awful, I think, when dating is terrible when you're super, super down, and dating is all right when you're feeling like you're a pimp, Like
Yeah.
there's no real in between. Um, like right now I'm on an incredible high. Like I'm dating somebody who I'm very, very happy with, and we're doing a lot of things that I never really did the last 13, 14 years, Like, and so that for me is like right now I'm riding a high on that. But if it goes away tomorrow, then tomorrow I'm right back to, oh God, dating's the worst,
Yeah. And I am at the point where you're the one who actually had to do this discovery for me of just exhaustion, to where that's why I became mean. I'm just exhausted with with I can't say the word on, I'm just exhausted
with
with
all
it.
of it. It is exhausting.
Yeah.
If you're keeping up with it, it is exhausting. And I know that I said, like, way back in February, March, like, there's no such thing as too soon. When you're ready, you're ready. That's not true. There is such a thing as too soon.
I don't date newly single guys for that reason. Like I can't, it's too much of a roller coaster for me.
Yeah.
But I had to learn that the hard way. And then I had that one crier. Remember the one who just cried
Yeah.
all the time. And then his ex-wife showed up at his house while we were having dinner, and that was it. Like I was done.
Never cried in front of any of them. Not once.
Oh man, that guy was a crier. And then so I jumped on Tinder again for the last 3 days. And as soon as these guys, I showed you some of the text. The second sentence is this guy asking gross questions. And you're like, my buddy in Murphy's is gross, like dirty. And I showed him, he goes, are you kidding me? So this guy's like second sentence to you. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, no, for real. It's exhausting. It takes a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I think the apex of it all for me wasn't even really my marriage ending, right? Like that one sucked. That one hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I jumped into something almost right after. Like my marriage ended and I was living on my own by the beginning of January. And then by the middle of March, I was kind of in with somebody again, kind of serious style, right? And that breakup was worse than my marriage ending because it ended kind of the same way that my marriage ended. And then on top of that, it was like one of those things where like you just sit back and you look like, wow. So like this one person who needs something like daily doesn't want me around. And this other person who needs something daily doesn't want me around. And you just start looking at yourself like, what is wrong with me right now? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it takes a minute to be like, oh, what's wrong with you is you just went through something super traumatic and now you're trying to ignore it and jump right back in.
That's the thing. And you had to tell me that too, because even though my last relationship was short-lived, like that ending was more traumatic than the ending of my divorce. Like it was super confusing. I'm still a little confused by everything that happened.
Yeah.
And you're like, I go, I'm being a little bitch. Why am I crying about this? This was months ago. And you're all, because you haven't faced the trauma part of it. And you're acting you need to face it and figure it out. And so I got a therapist and it's getting better, but it's hard.
And honestly, that's the thing that's easier said than done. Like I can look at you and tell you that all day long because I know that that's what I need to do too. But then I wasn't really doing it either, you know? Yeah. Like you're both looking at it. I was disc golfing with my buddy Nick yesterday and he threw a forehand and it was terrible, right? And I saw all the things that he did wrong with his forehand. But I also didn't want to tell him all the things that he did wrong with his forehand because I do those same things wrong all the time too, you know? So he gets mad. He's like, he got mad. He's like, what is wrong right now? And in my like stupid sing-songy things you're uncomfortable voice, I said, it's because you're pulling your elbow away from your body, but I haven't been playing long enough to tell you.
Yeah. Yep, I saw a meme. My knowledge thing that I follow that says, pay attention to people that you don't really want to hang out with. And if any of their traits match your traits, change them.
Yeah. Yeah, mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And you know what? I'm not going to get on the stream and say that I have found the one, right? Because I've done that before. But I have connected with somebody that has a ton of my traits. And I was really scared at that at first for and for the main reason, like, what would it be like actually hanging out with me? Is it that bad? Like, is it awful? You're nodding your head.
Because when you became single, everybody was like, you two are going to hook up. And I remember my friend Marlene goes, no, they're not. Like, she didn't even call for confirmation. She goes, I don't even have to call Madden to know that her and Riley are not hooking up.
10 minutes in the same room together as a couple, and you and I would destroy each other. Like, we'd be broke.
We would be so broke.
But, like, it turns out that a lot of the traits that we share, like, I mean, maybe I just love myself too much because, like, actually, it's pretty cool.
So it's pretty cool hanging out with me.
So, and I was talking to her about that the other day. I was like, you know what? Like, you're a lot like me, or maybe I'm a lot like you. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. I guess what I'm saying is I'm awesome to be around.
I think that's where my connection, why it was so hard to transition from wanting to be in a relationship to being just a friend to my friend in Murphy's, because we are so much alike. Like, when we travel together, we're both chill. We both wake up first thing in the morning and don't need attention. Like if I want to go walk on my own, I can. We show affection by roasting each other. Like it's just a thing, you know? And So I still knew I needed him in my life because I liked hanging out with me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
fun.
When she's like, hey, let's go for a walk, as I'm like, hey, let's go for a walk, I think to myself, yeah, a walk with me would be pretty rad. Let's do that.
Yes. And he's like kind of like you and I both, like funny blunt. Like,
Yeah.
hey, man up. You're acting like a little bitch right now, you know, and he'll put me in my place, but then also support me as I'm manning up, you know?
Yeah.
So
Man
I'm
up.
glad.
Seriously, you're acting like a child, but you can do it. If you can dream it, you can do it.
I'm glad you have that girl in your life. How is she going to feel about Tiger King 2? Has this been a discussion? Because I feel like this can make or break you guys.
The text I sent this morning was, what are your thoughts on Tiger King and the upcoming Tiger King 2? And she wrote, cannot wait till November 17th. What are your thoughts? And I wrote, I love Tiger King. And she wrote back, sounds like we have a binge ahead of us.
Yay! You guys have a show. A stupid show, but you have a show.
We have 2
Finding a
shows.
show together is hard.
2 shows.
You think, okay, when it comes to relationships, what do you think is harder? Maybe we could talk about this tomorrow because this live is getting very long. Finding a show to agree on or dinner?
Show.
No, because now you're dating somebody who likes to go out and try new things, right? So you guys really don't have a tough time with that?
But even still, because I feel like you sit down and, like, if you watch a movie that's 90 minutes, dinner's like 45 minutes. And so if I'm going to isolate somebody,
dinner's the hardest.
if I'm going to isolate somebody, or if I'm going to put somebody in a spot for 45, 60 minutes with me, I would rather be on the same page about the TV show for the 60 minutes than the crappy food for the 25 or 30.
Yeah. See, my last relationship, we don't watch any of the same shows, but we ate all of the same food. And then my buddy that I hang out with most of the time, we watch all of the same shows, but we do not eat the same.
But when you're sitting there watching shows for like if you're binging something, if they're binging something and they're like 2-3 hours in, I remember when I was married, on Fridays, she didn't work and I would come home. And so on Fridays, she would start binging at like 8 a.m, whatever she was going to watch for the day. And I would get home around 10:30 or 11. And then like, that was just it, because that was on. And I couldn't get mad because the rest of the week I always watched my stuff. I mean, I can't count how many basketball games my house has watched. So you can't get mad at it. But then you also know for the next 6 hours, that's occupied.
Yeah, or when you guys are both watching a show together and then you can't watch it without the other one and it's taking them a week because they have work. That was a bigger fight in our house than not watching a show together.
We watched this there was this documentary that came out like 8 years ago called Misrepresentation, and I could not wait for that thing to come out. And when it came out, it was like an hour and a half long. And it was like hit the ball, drag the chain, because I couldn't get anyone to watch it with me. I would rather be on the same page about TVs and movies than food.
Okay. We should do that on the air this week.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, guys.